So, welcome back guys. Today I'm going to talk with you over an attack that is very difficult to incorporate, but is very, very rewarding. This is something that is very hard to do for reward that other characters don't have to work so much for. But I promise you, if you can master this, it really will elevate one of Yoshimitsu's biggest weaknesses and will change a lot of matchups for you. In addition, I will show you a gimmick that will cheese you victory when you didn't earn it, even though it only works one time per deathmatch or per match per se, I would say. And before we go into the video, I made a Patreon. You can support me for new equipment. Thank you, because I want to stream. That's it. And the first thing I'm going to showcase that most people already know, but some don't, is that Yoshimitsu has some punishing potential that most characters just don't have. For instance, he can punish Kazumi's back 2 very, very convincingly and very, very easily at the wall. He can launch punish that. And there's a very good list from appltimes, which includes most of the integral moves where this functions as a punish. But Yoshimitsu's wild standing punishment, doesn't matter how you look at it, just sucks. It straight up sucks. It's very close to Feng's wild standing punishment. His wild standing forehand doesn't have the best range. It's only +5 in a situation where people can still step because it pushes them a little bit away. So if you hit it like this, you're at range 2, +5 doesn't mean so much. Next thing is wild standing 1-1 is a super shitty move because it has good range. That's the only thing that goes for it. But it's 0 on hit, which is like very close to Feng's wild standing 1-1, 1-2, which was arguably one of the worst punishers in the game, and this one is arguably the worst one in the game. So what do I want to tell you? The first thing is, there are certain situations where you can punish lows with flash. You really have to lap that. What I really want to show you is, you have to, you can choose between this 14 damage being +5, or you do one standing 1 +2, sacrificing 2 damage but being +8, which is a lot better in most situations in my opinion. 2 damage as an exchange for 3 more frames is way better. You are approximately at the same range, but at +8 you can do a lot. And Fubuki at +8 is actually a very, very good option. Now I will show you something that needs so much work that most people watching these videos will say he's stupid, right? That cannot be what he wanted to show us. But believe me, it's worth it. So if you master crouch canceling, you can actually access jabs from full crouch to punish lows that are I-12. Because I used to do it with Jin, because he can actually crouch cancel and do 11 frame 2-4 for a knockdown. This unfortunately doesn't work, for instance, for Yoshimitsu's 2-1 punish because he has a sidestep 2. But for his 1, if you press crouch cancel with sidestep and then press forward 1 like a lead jab, he will always, and that is a tech that you can always use when you don't want sidestep 1, he will always do the jabs instead of the sidestep 1. That is something that most people don't know. So if you really practice this, you can master this to be a 11 to 10 frame punish, mostly 10 frame like this. You saw it, punish, thank you. And then you change this into this, and that is actually a very good punish on Kazumi's down back 4. It is very, very hard to learn though, and takes a lot of practice. But up to -13, this is actually not as hard anymore. And at 14, this is very doable, even online. And even at 14, this is weaker than crouch canceling doing this. You get more plus frames, the opponent is in crouch, and if you master this, you can actually land, if you're a monster, this as a crouch cancel, which is sick. But as I said, this takes a lot of practice. but it is one of Yoshimitsu's biggest weakness. So altogether, levying what you can flash, which lows, and crouch cancelling increases the damage output you get from punishing lows way more. Because the problem is with Yoshimitsu, your hop kick range sucks. Very close to the hop kick from Feng, where it only hits from range 1.9. I think from here it will whiff. Your low crushes overall suck. They're not very reliable, going over sweeps and such. The only one that I use frequently is this one, and it's hella slow. Low parrying is a good option because from a low parry, everyone knows Yoshimitsu actually gets decent damage because the ender is unscaled. So Yoshimitsu is actually one of the most damaging low parry characters, which is kind of crazy. And against big characters, of course, you can also get the unscaled 442 just frame ender. What did I do there? For more unscaled damage. So he's very good at low parrying, and because you're always in crouch, this complements each other very good. But just practice this. This is the important part. If you can punish minus 13 lows with this, Yoshimitsu's punishment from wild standing just got buffed by a ton. And now at the end, we come to the cheese part. I saw this and I was like, in Tekken Tag Tournament 2, this is a thing that Ana players love to do. So they block your low, but instead of punishing it correctly, they choose to go to the sword sweep, in Ana's case the full crouch down for 2. And because you blocked something, they expect you to retaliate with the wild standing 4, which is where you can instead choose to go for the sword sweep and for big damage. This is very good if you try to cheese out a comeback. If you have rage, for instance, and someone wants to end it with a low, block punishing with Yoshimitsu is not what you should have in mind. Because if you do this and you go into rage drive, you're gonna do way more damage than you would do with the wild standing 4, which most people will block after, puts you in a stupid situation, and if you spend your rage drive afterwards, it's gone. This doesn't work often, so if you did it once, the possibility is big that you have to use it very sparingly. But I promise you, I never, to my knowledge, never got punished for this doing it the first time. The second time, sometimes, but the first time, never. And up to 14 frames, Yoshimitsu's wild standing punishment is so weak that you just have to sometimes use shit like this. I'm sorry, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm sorry to shamelessly plugging my Patreon, but yeah, you know what to do. I hope you like those videos. See you in the next one. Goodbye.